There is no way on God's green earth that China was worthy of. They didn't meet any of the standards of the IMF to be considered a reserve currency. But yet the IMF put them on a year's probation. It didn't matter. They didn't need to go on probation. They didn't meet any of the standards. They were known as currency manipulators, which they did on a regular basis, except for that 1 year they were on probation. And then sure enough, the following July, they are officially a reserve currency. So now the IMF, now something happened. I'm just saying, something took place. There is no possible way that they should have been placed as a reserve currency. Now, of course, the IMF doesn't want to look bad as they watch the financial center of Asia, which is Hong Kong. They don't want to make China look any bad or their currency perform any worse than it is. But listen to this. So here's who the reserve currencies are of the world. We have the euro. We have the pound, the British pound. Well, I'm going to forget one, I know. We have the Japanese yen. Of course, we have the US dollar, and we have China, 5. That's it. So that's who we have. China can't hold a candle to those other 4, number one. And the reason why China does all of their buying, selling, and trading in what? US dollars. You think they use a yuan to buy oil? Well, they can't to buy oil, but to buy some other kind of chemical or pharmaceutical or anything else they import? No, they don't. Only 3% of what China buys, 3%, only 3% of it is actually purchased in their own currency. Why? Because nobody wants their currency. Nobody wants their currency. It's borderline junk currency. I mean, you could almost make a case from a technical perspective that it shouldn't even be listed. And nobody wants it, yet it's a reserve currency of the world. A reserve currency of the world. So what does that tell people, tell you, tell the world global financial system about the IMF? IMF instantly lost their credibility. Oh, big deal. You're already going to make me a reserve currency? I don't care. I mean, you got China in there. What kind of, anybody looking for clout, power, credibility in their currency, all of a sudden, who cares about the IMF basket of reserve currencies? It obviously is meaningless, or China wouldn't be in there. And this is the kind of stuff that China's been doing forever. And, buying their way in, everything to them, get the political clout you need by buying the right politicians. Not worried. I'm not going to just worry about our food supply. I'm going to buy farmland in America to take that away, and I will control it. I'm going to buy the entire dairy industry in Israel so we can keep it going. They're the kinds of things that go on. In America, it shouldn't be allowed. And after the election, we need to be lobbying this president really, really hard that it stops. We've got to have laws. The China can't come up and buy all our resorts in Miami and all of our office buildings in New York City and, every piece of farmland that goes up for sale, or our meat packing plants, as they've done. We've got to, at some point in time, we got to put a stop to it and worry about the American people's food chain and food supply. It's bad enough they produce 93% of our antibiotics. So how bad is that? So all they've got to do is say, no, I think we'll cripple them. Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.